up? It's episode 289 of Magic the Amateur.
Holy buckets, we're only 11 episodes away from 300.
That's my brain just exploded.
That's a movie.
That a movie?
300?
Oh, yes, it is.
Right? For a second, I thought I was wrong and it was a different number.
No, they accurately tracked how many people were shirtless and pushed into a hole during that event.
Yes. Wait, I thought it was just one man who was pushed into a well.
You know what? I don't know.
Or off a cliff?
It was definitely a hole of some sort.
Really?
And he definitely was not wearing a shirt. And
none of them were.
None of them were. Because why would you?
I've never seen this movie.
I think I saw it.
I obviously know the iconic scene.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that everyone talked about so much when it came out.
Yeah.
And there's been like so many memes that I believe that you could falsify a memory in which you think you had seen it.
I fell asleep during it.
Okay, there you go.
I am wont to do during any movie where there's excessive long fight scenes.
Yeah.
I go right to bed.
So you napped through the entirety of Lord of the Rings.
I did nap in Lord of the Rings, yes.
Wow, we're going to get some real haters.
I know,
for
people are going to be mad about that, but I don't know what it is.
Do you know what? I was talking with a group of people the other day about what movies are better than the books.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how, honestly, the Lord of the Rings books are sometimes just so tedious.
Yes, I've heard this as well.
It's so true. And the thing is I read them when I was a teen and I remember loving them. And then like
you go back and you're
5
like,
years ago,
ooh,
maybe
they're
I tried
talking
to
about
reread
food.
them and I was just like, this is so dull.
Well, look, you have more stuff to do as an adult.
That's true. Some of it is really exciting, but it's like one page of exciting for like 15 pages of like descriptions of landscapes or local politics.
Yeah.
And I don't want to read those.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know what? I'd actually love these movies, but
yeah. So anyways.
I did fall asleep during one.
You're listening to a podcast that's about Magic the Gathering and
Surprise!
not critical analysis of fight scene films.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan, and we're going to talk to you today all about magic.
Yeah,
actually,
especially,
that's a big time lie. We're going to talk to you mostly about magic and sometimes about other things.
We've got the Pro Tour under our belts now. This past weekend, it happened here in our hometown of Minneapolis.
It was pretty great.
Yeah,
it was very exciting.
I loved it here, and reviews are in. People love Minneapolis. It's a fact.
It's so charming. It's so lovely.
We have a spoon and a cherry that's the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. How could you not like that?
Yeah, you mean the cherry by itself? Because the spoon is the size of a semi.
Yeah. Think about that.
It feels like
Just
a philosophical question in the making of like, if you had a cherry the size of a beetle, what
size
does the
be?
spoon need to be?
Yeah, semi.
Anyways.
Yeah, we did. It was great. And we have more info about that coming up in the show. I'm sure you watched it, or if you didn't watch the whole thing, a little bit, but we're going to give you all the stuff that you may have missed and some highlights of all the exciting things that happened during the Pro Tour.
That's right. That also feeds into people who are qualified for the World Championship, which is happening at the end of September.
Yeet.
So we're going to bring you a little bit of talk about what's happening for people who are qualified for the World Championship.
And we're going to talk draft and flavor text theater.
That's right.
Woo! But before we do any of that, it's a big time thank you. It's a big time thank you for everybody who supports us on patreon.com/MTAcast.
That's right. If you are supporting us on patreon.com/MTAcast, why did I repeat it just after you said it? Because
repetition is the soul of invention. Is that a saying?
That sounds like the opposite of a saying. Anyways.
That's something nobody ever says.
Exactly. Like, how are you going to make something new if all that you're doing is the old thing?
Look, I'm so tired. I'm still not out over Pro Tour.
That's true.
The Pro Tour sleeps.
We're still a little bit Pro Tour hungover, which is where you only sleep for 5 hours.
Yeah.
For 4 days in a row.
Correct.
And at the end of it, you don't function.
Yep.
Well, anyways, what were we saying?
I might be on a cloud right now.
Thank you to patrons. If you are supporting the show, we so appreciate it. If you are not yet supporting the show, if you've considered supporting the show, head on over there. This summer are very tough months for us. People are out doing other things. We understand that a lot of people have different, our financial situations change. And sometimes people are like, hey, I can support right now. I've got the $5 a month, or I don't have it right now. And we want the podcast to be available to you no matter what.
Right.
So if you're someone who's got the extra $5 a month right now, consider pitching it our way so that we're able to bring the podcast to everyone.
Big thanks to cardkingdom.com/MTAcast as well. Super cool website. I always go there to buy my cards because they ship so quickly. They're so friendly. They'll include an MTAcast sticker in your order.
Yes.
It's actually a Good Luck High Five sticker now. It's brand new. So if you got the old one, got to catch them all. Get the new one too. They've got a great blog, great people working for them. They're streaming regularly now, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah. And I got we have their sparring decks now, which are their like little $15 pre-con brawl decks. Tachova, great.
Yeah.
Great. 100% worth $15.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it
Somebody
was
did
so
the hard
much
work
fun
for you.
Exactly. And the deck ran so smoothly. It was like, this is everything I want to do in this deck. It has ramp, it has cycling, it has Tachova to draw me a bunch of cards as I'm playing lands. Oh, beautiful. Wonderful. Great stuff.
Very nice. It's time for the top 3 things in Magic you need to know this week, which is not normally the order I say those words.
No, it was a little bit of a strange order.
Thing number 1, the Pro Tour happened.
That's right, everyone. It did, and we're going to talk about it in depth in a little bit. Mostly talking about what were people playing and what wild formats. Well, the formats weren't wild. They were constructed. They were settled beforehand.
What if you just got there and they're like, it's a grab bag. What format will you be playing?
Or you have like a 6-sided die and standard Modern Legacy are each written on sides of the die.
Yes.
And you and your opponent just roll the die and to determine what format you're playing in that match.
I love it.
Right there.
You have to be ready.
Yeah, so you have to have all 3 decks in your pack.
And people are like, gosh, dang it, I rolled Legacy like 20 times today and I don't know how to play it.
I just wanted to play Modern.
Maria and Meghan, spice up the Pro Tour. Pro Tour 50th anniversary. Watch out.
Right. It's just going to be a Pro Tour grab bag.
Pro Tour grab bag. I'm in. I mean, like, the pros won't be, but
Pro
I'll be
Tour
there
grab
for
bag is also what we could call our later segment about the Pro Tour, where we're going to cover
That's
everything.
True. Well, who won is the number 1 question here. Alan Wu, Ben Hull, and Gregory Orange were champions.
That's right.
The men from the Midwest.
Yeah, I think only Greg is from the Midwest.
I think they all are.
Really? I thought Ben Hull was like Canadian.
Yeah, but I'm going to count that.
You know what? What is Canada but a giant Midwest?
Yes. I'm sorry, Canada, if you feel insulted by that, but it's a compliment because we want you.
That's right. The Midwest is a great place. We live here.
Yeah.
And all we're saying is that all of you is worthy of a place. As
Absolutely.
good of a with as good of a title as the Midwest. There was a full thought in there somewhere.
They're on Team Hot Sauce Games.
Yeah.
And Greg Orange actually is a friend of ours. We know him. We've played with him here in the Minneapolis area.
Once upon a time, we knew him before
Yeah.
he
We knew him before he was
wanting
a big
before he was wanting
shot.
Pro Tour.
Wanting Pro Tours. We knew the citrus assassin himself, Mr. Gregory Orange, before he was a sparkle in the Pro Tour's eye. And I said it on coverage, it was only a matter of time before he won a Pro Tour, and I actually thought that every time I saw him, because he never did bad.
No.
He's
done very well multiple times.
He was in 9th place once.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, one of these days he's going to win the whole thing. And sure
and
enough,
into this one.
Here we go. So I
Ben
can be
Hull,
happy.
Rookie of the Year.
Yes, absolutely.
I think also top aided one of his first
Kaladesh.
PTs. Yeah.
Yeah. And wears a shirt that says meh on it.
Yes.
And then the day of the top 8, I went over and I'm like, are you wearing your meh shirt? And he's like, no, I brought a second one, but I didn't want people to think I was wearing the same shirt 2 days in a row. So today I'm wearing my shirt that says no.
Ben Hull, a man who will own 2 shirts that say meh on them.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and Alan Wu, Legacy Master for this Pro Tour 2, was happy to play it after the bannings that Legacy had. So he was reinvigorated.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. But more on that later. Thing number 2, we know a lot of people who are going to the World Championship now. It's been decided.
That's right. It's happening at the end of September. And the way it works is there are different spots for all of the different regions. So you get the top players in each region. You get the Pro Tour winners.
Yep, they're in.
Yeah.
including all 3 of these lovely gentlemen.
Yep, and then you get some at-large spots who are pros that's like, oh, if you know, like, all of the people from your geographic region were already set ahead of you, then there's some at-large spots so that if you're still one of the top pros in the world, that you might end up there.
And you get your Draft Master and Constructed Master, which are kind of calculated throughout
That's
the
right.
Pro Tour season.
So we've known our Draft Master and our Constructed Master
Yes.
since the last Pro Tour.
Yeah. Elias Watsfeld and Matt Severa. So
Yes.
we know they're in. They're a lock.
That's
and of
right.
course, all the Pro Tour winners
Matt
we know.
Severa, what better title is there than Constructed Master?
I mean,
for Matt Severa?
seriously. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the teams, the
yes.
top 2 of the team series.
Which is now Haruya Latin.
Yep.
Because they all finished, both of their teams finished super high. One of them
Yes.
ended up in the top 4.
Yeah.
And one of them was like 6th.
Yeah. They did excellent. This was their Pro Tour, honestly.
They
crushed
they
it.
really crushed it.
They crushed it.
So, and then Ultimate Guard, which has been leading for a while, almost
Almost lost.
very almost overtaken by Team Channel Fireball.
It was a close one.
That's right. The finals were played against Martin Yuza, Josh Ederleighton, and Ben Stark from Team Channel Fireball. If they had won the PT,
Yeah.
then
CFB
they
would
would have. Yeah.
the finals of the team series.
Yeah.
Wow. So close. And
What stakes?
it was high stakes.
Yeah.
Which is something I love. Any kind of steak, anytime. You know, medium well. I'm a monster, but I love
You
it.
are.
What can I say?
You really are.
So yeah, that stuff is exciting, and will be coming up in September.
Yeah.
in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's always a cool tournament because it's
Yeah.
like the best players, and of course the finals of the team series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to be playing. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing Guilds of Ravnica.
Wow.
Yeah, preview like before.
Yeah.
The full spoiler will be out, but nobody will have done it yet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Exciting.
I know. I'm stoked.
Last, we've got some upcoming events.
Yes.
Like we said, the World Championship is coming at the end of September. But before that, first weekend of September, we've got Team Unified Modern in Detroit. We know so many people who are excited to go play this.
I mean, Modern is everybody's favorite format, and
Yeah.
everybody's other favorite format is teams. So why don't we just jam them together and have a good time?
That's right. You and April were very excited to go until I ruined your dreams. I'm a monster.
Oh, we were gonna win the whole thing.
If you ever want to know who's a monster, we all know April's a monster, but now I'm also a monster.
April will just destroy your lands.
Yeah. April, number 1 monster.
Number
but-
1 monster.
yeah.
Cube April. Follow her on Twitter. If you're not.
Yep. And in the coming weekends, we've also got GPs Los Angeles and Providence, which are not this weekend, but next.
Those are both standard Grand Prix.
Yeah, we'll see how the standard format is shaping up. Because you know what? We still don't know all that much about it.
No, there was some. We'll talk about this in
Yeah.
the Pro Tour section, but we had some new decks.
We sure did.
One in particular, which we're going to talk about coming up. And then, of course, Nationals weekend on the 18th and 19th. And I think like Japanese Nationals is
Yeah.
coming up, and that's usually a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that will be covered as well. I know that like Marshall goes to the Seattle office and like covers Japanese Nationals from Seattle. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so those are all the cool things happening right now in your magic neighborhood. Pro Tour Review.
That's right, everybody. It happened. Wait, we already covered that it happened.
We did cover that it happened.
Yes.
Yes, and the team of Wu, Hull, and Orange were victorious over half of CFB's team, Yuza, Stark, and Utter Layton. And this is interesting too because that was the only team in the whole building that was all Hall of Famers on a team.
That's an impressive team.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some got pretty close with 2 out of 3, but
Yes.
this was 3 out of 3.
Yeah, you know, three of the 4 teams in the top 4. One of them was just like,
Yeah.
who are these guys?
Yeah, the Belgians.
Yeah, the Belgians, everyone was like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
here's some Belgians.
What's up, guys?
Rich was like, yeah, these Belgians have been on the scene for a long time, at least a couple of them on the team, and have been playing for years, and he was happy to see them there, but they all qualified for the Pro Tour via an RPTQ.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I thought that was great. Like,
Yeah.
we have RPTQers, even though they are more than that, but that's how they qualified
Yeah.
in the top 4, with with an all, Hall of Fame team.
Yeah, with an all Hall of Fame team, with the Haruya Latin team,
Yeah.
which is just like an absurd set of players.
Just incredible.
Who have all been playing for forever.
Marcio Carvalho, Thiago Saporito, and Lucas Esperbertu.
No. He was on the other team.
He was on the other one?
This is Carlos Romao.
Oh, yeah, Carlos Romao. Yeah.
Who now people are saying, so we'll talk about this more next week, but the Hall of Fame ballots are coming up.
Yes.
And like Carlos Romao, people are now saying like with another top 8 under his belt is like very much in contention for that. So like potential future Hall of Famer there.
Ooh, cool stuff.
Yeah, and then all Hall of Famer team.
Just like
And the team that took it down, which is all very accomplished players, like younger players to the game, newer players in the game, but all very accomplished for how long they've been playing.
Absolutely. I love to see that diversity in the top 8. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I did make a prediction on last week's show. I said the best team in the entire room will win the tournament.
Wow.
I did say that.
You did.
And you know what? That team is pretty good. Were they the best overall? I don't know.
I would argue that, like, if you were just going to go by
the decisions made that weekend?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they were the best team for the weekend because they won.
Oh, God.
I do think that their matchups in the finals were like, very solid.
They were. Two out of three
were very good for them.
Correct. Yeah.
Which brings us to the one that was not good for them was Legacy.
Let's chat about Legacy for a little while here, which we never do on this. We never do this.
Record scratch sound. Have you never heard a record scratch in your life?
You do the sound. Legacy.
Okay, wait.
You have to try. You have to try. We're going to talk about Legacy. It's like impossible to make the sound of a record scratch with a human mouth. What was mine? Like,
yours sounds like a pig and mine sounds like a dolphin.
What record are you listening to? Oh,
I'm listening to animal sounds.
Pigs and dolphins. Yes. Pigs in the spring.
All right. God. Anyways, so there is not often innovation in Legacy. It is a format that has been around forever.
Yeah, that's its whole deal.
Even with recent bannings, right? It's still like you still saw a lot of people on things like Death and Taxes that have been around for a long time, on Grixis Control, which looks a lot like some of the, there's been Grixis in this format for forever.
Yes.
But
Deathrite Shaman and Gataxian Pro get out of here.
That's right. And Josh Eder-Layton developed a new Legacy deck that, according to everyone who played it and all of his teammates, is just busted.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people just said this is 100% the best deck in the room.
Yeah.
And it is Death Shadow in Legacy.
And his teammates were just like, how did we get to the top 8 or to the top 4? It's like, well, Josh won every single match he played.
Yep, he never lost.
And the other two of us just managed to not mess it up for him.
Yep. Amazing.
Yeah.
So I believe this deck existed in some form in Legacy. It's obviously a modern deck. We know that.
Yeah. Death Shadow is a modern deck.
Yes. Death Shadow modern deck. And he had the idea to add the card that changed the whole thing, Reanimate. Just 2 copies of Reanimate into the deck. Yeah. And that pushed it over the top, as we say, and made it super, super good.
Yeah. So this deck is, like we said, there has been a modern version of Death Shadow, which more involves like the classic, just like I'm gonna like Thoughtseize you a bunch and Inquisition you a bunch. Basically, I'll be a monster
and deal damage to myself in the process.
That's right. This deck is so cool because it also plays for Delver of Secrets, and that's in part because it has all of like the instant speed deck manipulation.
Yeah,
it has
Brainstorm Obs.
Yeah. And then it has some of the sorcery speed stuff like Ponder and Preordain, stuff that you're going to be able to flip your Delver, so you've got that as an attacker also. Yeah, it has cards from...
this is funny. Snuff Out.
This is from one of the conspiracy sets, isn't it?
I think so it's an old card.
Yeah.
That got a bunch of reprintings.
Yeah.
And it says if you control Swamp, You may pay 4 life rather than pay Snuffle's mana cost, which is 3 to black.
Yeah.
Destroy target non-black creature can't be regenerated. And if you, I think this is so funny because like, if you have a card that's free in some kind of way, or 1 mana, Legacy's
You're
like,
gonna
put
see
it in my deck.
Yes.
Put it in. And especially in this deck because you're dealing 4 damage to yourself to get your Death Shadow out there and be bigger.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I love it.
And Reanimate, just to touch on that a little bit more, was so great because sometimes in Legacy, people are doing things like putting their Grizzlebrand, like Thoughtseize, put your Grizzlebrand into your graveyard.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then I will reanimate it for myself. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for this Grizzlebrand. And I've also just dealt damage to myself on top of that to make my Death Shadow even bigger.
Or it's like, oh, you killed my Death Shadow? Well, like, I'll get it back.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
This deck is really cool.
It is. It is. It also obviously plays Gurmag Anglers.
The old Angly.
The old 5/5 for 1.
You know what? It's so funny to me. It's so funny to me about Legacy and the 1 mana spells. They're like, does it cost more than 1? I'm not interested in it.
No, goodbye.
Ever.
Good day.
No. Get out of my deck.
It was nice meeting you, but literally,
But
let's
literally-
read this. So Death Shadow, 1 mana. Street Wraith, you're never casting. You're
No.
cycling it, so it does not matter. Delver of Secrets, 1.
1.
Gurmag,
1. Yeah.
Ponder, 1.
1.
Preordain,
1.
1. Thoughtseize,
1.
1. Reanimate,
1.
1. Brainstorm,
1.
1. Daze, 0. Because you
0.
pick up an
Yep.
island.
Force of Will, 0.
0. Snuff Out,
0.
0. Fatal Push, 1.
1.
Stubborn Denial, 1.
1. Yeah. And I mean, okay, so this deck went up against Death and Taxes, which is one of my favorite Legacy decks because it has creatures in it. What?
You monster.
But I mean, it's totally opposite to my playstyle, but I do like the fact, I do like creatures. And some of them cost 2 mana. Stormforger Mystic costs 2 mana. Oh my God, get out of here. And everyone was like, this deck is a terrible matchup because Death and Taxes runs Swords to Plowshares, which can very easily deal with Death Shadow, sometimes 2 at once because of the life gain. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. And we just saw this run all over Death and Taxes twice.
It was kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
The wins that it got.
In part because it has, what are these? What's the card in this side?
Dread of Night.
Dread of Night.
So Dread of Night, once again, costs a single black mana. White creatures get -1/-1 enchantment.
Great.
At one point, there were 3 copies of Dread of Night out, but Death and Taxes won through it.
That's true.
Which
That
is
one was impressive.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, that's because they had a Phyrexian Revoker
Oh, yeah.
out and put a sword on it. A sword of
This
fire.
little
and ice.
robot is carrying a giant sword.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That's the sound of its legs on the ground.
Phyrexian Revoker and Skittering Surveyor are hooking up. Hot
Wow.
goss. You heard it here first.
Why are you spreading that kind of gossip?
I'm sorry. I just really spoiled their secret.
Yeah, you did.
We're now the TMZ of magic. I'm sitting here with like my latte.
TMZ of magic.
Then you know Phyrexian Revoker and Skittering Surveyor. We're caught hooking up at the hottest club. Anyway, Legacy. Let's talk about Modern.
Let's. Do you know what? Do you know what we got to watch a lot of this weekend?
What? Magic?
We got to watch a lot of KCI losing.
Yeah. I suppose so. I suppose we did. KCI.
Yeah. Look, Ben Stark, obviously an incredible Magic player in the Hall of Fame. I don't know that we saw him win a match on camera.
Oh, that's too bad. He brought KCI to the table.
I think we watched him, like, there was like one, right? I think he won once on camera.
I'm sure it happened.
That's more confident than I am.
The thing is, yeah, so he picked up the deck for this tournament. He doesn't normally play this deck, but kind of as a concession to say this is what he believes the best deck in Modern. And I think he's not wrong. Fantastic choice. It's just like very complicated.
Is he? Because I think that the best deck in Modern is Humans.
This is the age-old question. And by age, I mean since last weekend. Which is better? Who would win?
KCI or Humans? And I mean, like, we definitively saw Humans win in the semis.
Yes, it was kind of a smasheroo.
Yeah, it really was. And then we saw this lose to Hollow One in the finals.
That was weird. Yeah, I do think I feel like KCI's got to have the upper edge on Hollow One, but
really,
maybe if it's so I guess this is kind of a dumb question
I saw
because
Ben Hull have 9 power in play on turn 2.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just Hollow One is so hard to evaluate because sometimes they can just like have nothing
Sometimes
happen.
they whiff, but honestly, so people always say that, right?
But it never does.
But it doesn't.
Maybe it's only when I play it.
The number of times I've seen it not whiff is so high.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, yeah.
I think that Hollow One is more consistent than people believe it to be.
What about a deck that's even more consistent than Hollow One, Megan? And this is
Are we
new
coming
kid
back
in
around
town.
to KCI?
No, we've made full circle.
Oh, that's right.
Vengevine.
Ooh, this deck I love.
Okay, so Vengevine is a lovely little card which costs 2 green and is a hasty 4/3.
Yeah.
If you play 2 creature spells, you can get it back from your graveyard to the battlefield in the single turn. Here's the thing: this existed already as a deck in Modern as
Yeah.
red-green Vengevine,
Yes.
but
It wasn't very good.
it was not as good as it needed to be until
Stitcher's Supplier.
Stitcher Supplier came
of
around.
all things.
And then somebody was like, what about also Bridge from Below?
Ooh.
That seems like it would be good, which is a future sight card, which doesn't do a single gosh darn thing as enchantment on the battlefield, but does quite a lot out of your graveyard.
It's kind of hilarious how it does nothing on
does
the
nothing.
battlefield.
Nothing.
If it is on the battlefield,
It says
there's nothing.
just blank.
It does not.
Well,
nothing.
it helps your devotion to black. That
you know
is-
what?
And is an enchantment.
You're correct about
That's
that.
it.
You're not wrong.
The end.
Okay.
So it needs to be in your graveyard. And if you've got it in your graveyard where it's living because you've discarded it with various cards such as Faithless Looting or
Or
what
put it
have
into
you.
your graveyard with Stitcher's Supplier.
Or
which just
Insolent
puts-
Neonate.
Yeah.
Something like that. You can make zombies and lots and lots of them.
So many zombies.
Yeah, so this deck is,
Zombs for days.
I would argue, even more consistent than Hollow One.
Yeah.
And capable of just as powerful starts. We once again saw something crazy like 9 power in play at the, like 6 power or something by the first or second turn with this
Yeah.
deck. It was just kind of unbelievable. So Stitcher Supplier, an integral part of this, printed in M19. So M19 having an impact here and helping you put 3 cards into your graveyard. Boom, off the bat into play. Boom,
Yeah.
when it dies, make yourself some zombies. And turns out, like, even though zombies are just little tutus, man, if you've got a lot of them,
If you have enough of them. There was also a version of this, which I really appreciated, which played Greater Gargadon,
yes,
which is the hasty 10/10. That
or is it like a 9-10-9 or something like that?
10/9. It's an absurdly
9/7,
big thing.
whatever.
And it has suspend. It has suspend 10 for a single red. So you cast it, you pay a single red, and it goes into exile with 10 counters on it. And usually you just remove a suspend counter on your upkeep. But in Greater Gargadon's case, you can sacrifice a permanent to take a counter off of it. So it's stuff where it's like, oh, if they try and, if they cryptic command to like tap all your creatures at the beginning of combat, you can be like, okay, sack this to the Gargadon and like sack this to the Gargadon and like get these things back out of my graveyard or make zombies or whatever.
It's also
really cool.
super important to stop your opponent's creatures from dying in combat.
Yeah.
Because once one of their creatures goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, you're supposed to exile your Bridge from Below.
Yeah.
So you can stop their creatures from biting
being
it.
able to trade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I think that's super cool.
It's so weird.
Yeah, and some versions aren't using the Greater Gargadon. Some versions are using a Viscera Seer to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I talked briefly with one of the people who was playing this deck, and he said he greatly prefers the Greater Gargadon. So, it remains to be seen. But if you had this on your bingo square, which I mean, we did say a new deck makes a splash in Modern. Boom, check it off because this counts.
This one is it.
I think that's so cool.
Pretty great.
Another deck that kind of made a little bit of a resurgence in Modern at the Pro Tour was Spirits.
Ugh.
What's your problem with Spirits?
It's bad.
What do you mean?
Spirits is bad humans.
Whoa. I mean, this was true. This is why nobody played it, because you just say the same as Merfolk. It's humans is just better.
Yeah.
But with the addition of another Spirit Lord, like maybe people are like, well, maybe it's just good enough now.
No, it's still bad. Settled that question. moving on.
But I love it. I love it.
You like little
there's
ghost
creatures.
friends? Look, I understand that people love it. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings so much right now. But all that I'm saying is that, like, right, all of these, to me, okay, if you're playing Modern because you love it, which so many people do, I've done it. I play turns in Modern sometimes because I love playing turns.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Nexus of Fate.
I'm not under the delusion, which is what it is. The delusion that turns is a great deck. Sometimes it can be good, but it's not a tier 1 deck. It's not great.
The delusion.
The delusion. And my problem is that I feel like so many people who play Spirits
Believe
are like,
their own delusion?
yeah, believe that it's a great deck. And it's like, no, Humans came about because, and it is such a good deck because decks like Merfolk and decks like Spirits have been trying to do what Humans perfected, right?
Snap.
Humans come in and they have ways to tax your mana like Thalia.
Yeah.
They have ways to protect themselves like Kitesail Freebooter and Meddling Mage.
Yeah.
Like that pair of Kitesail Freebooter and Meddling Mage is so absurdly powerful.
Yeah.
Those two things where it's just like, okay, I Kitesail you, I look at your hand, I take the best removal spell right now out of it, or the best, like Wrath out of it right now, and I see your hand and next turn I play a Meddling Mage, and I name the next thing that you needed to play. And Spirits and Merfolk, neither of them has access. They have tools that are a little bit like that. They have like Mausoleum Wanderer, but it's like that's such a pale comparison.
Because it's
literally pale
because
it's a ghost.
Because it's a ghost.
So that's why, like, right? If you're playing Spirits because you love it, I get it. But if what you want to do is be winning with a strategy like that, what you should be doing is playing Humans. Like, that's just, I'm sorry. I'm here to deliver some cold, hard, freaking truths right now. And that's one of them.
This message has been sponsored by Meddling Mage. Oh, gosh. Okay, do you have any more Modern you want to talk about? Or do you want to talk about Standard?
Let's talk about Standard.
Let's talk about Standard, baby.
Let's talk about creatures and things. That was bad.
So the deck in the hands of Gregory Orange, which helped win the Pro Tour, was Blue-White Control in Standard.
Right. His main deck, no ways to win.
No ways to win, because why would you need that?
No.
If you are
Greg Orange, famed dirtler.
Yeah. If you're a control player, I would highly suggest you go back and watch Greg Orange play these matches because it is a lesson in how to play control. He looked like he never, even for a second, was worried, like broke a sweat. He's just like very cool, calm, and collected, dealing with everything that his opponents did. And you know what? If I want to know if I was sitting in that seat and I had the same draws and I'm playing against the same opponent, would I have won those games? I don't know if I would have.
Yeah.
So anyway, very cool stuff to watch him play that deck there. It was just like, just that feeling, I could feel the helplessness coming off of his opponents because I have been in that seat so many times. There's nothing I can do.
Helplessness radiating off of people.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. But there was that was the deck that the winning team had. Yeah. But there's a new, like, kind of cool deck that people were playing, which was called Turbo Fog.
That's right. Because it is, in fact, playing Haze of Pollen and Root Snare. Fog. And then it's using Nexus of Fate to take a bunch of turns.
I mean, this sounds like a deck you want to play, Megan.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I'd want to.
I think this is up your alley.
Yeah. Eric Froelich thinks that the deck is very good.
Yeah.
He says it's just so much better than the field.
Oh, interesting.
Like it's so good against the field.
So there's a little bit of controversy about this deck because the card Nexus of Fate is actually hard to get.
Do you know what?
But
I'm calling BS.
Oh, why?
Because if you think about it, so people are like, oh, it's only a buy a box promo, right?
Yes.
So you only get one if you buy a box. But that means if you think about it, there is a Nexus of Fate, essentially, quote unquote, in each box. Do you know how many Nicol Bolas are in each box?
How many?
Less than one.
Half a Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, there's because not every box that you buy is going to have every mythic in it.
Sure.
Same if you think at this point Karn and Teferi are a different story because Dominaria had its whole set run, right?
Yeah.
So there were tons of packs and tons of boxes open. But if you think about the history of when
Benalia.
Dominaria, the history of Benalia, when Dominaria was happening, when it was the format that was live at the moment, there was less than one Teferi per box. And Teferi, a very key standard player.
But Teferi was able to be cracked in packs.
That's true. But if you think about it, those packs are coming from a box.
Yeah, but not like
That's
a box
true.
with a buy box promo.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. They're very expensive right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Karn was also very expensive.
True. So online, they've tried to remedy this problem.
Yeah.
By saying they're putting more of them into treasure chests at
Yeah.
I think at a common level.
Yeah.
So they're trying to fix it that way. In real life, I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe not enough people won't even want to play this deck. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And also you have to look at, like, what is the lifespan of the deck going to be? Like,
Yeah,
is it
who
going to
knows?
survive into guilds? Maybe at that point there's a problem. But I guess it makes me frustrated when people are like, oh, there's so few Nexus of Fate, or like, you can't just crack a pack and get one. I get that, being frustrated that you can't go buy a box and try and crack a pack and get it, or you can't buy like 5 packs and try and crack it. But also, one, that's a bad way to get your hands on cards that you really need if you're trying to open like one card, right? And people who are just like, oh, there's not enough of them. And it's like, there's one per box. That's more than mythics. That's more than most commons.
Remains to be seen what shall happen with it.
Yeah.
I personally would never want to touch this deck with a 10-foot pole. So
Also, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just like still on this because at the end of the day, what Wizards is trying to do is like make it better for local game stores, right? Like,
Yes, that
local
was
game
the
stores
point.
Need to sell boxes, like, in order to keep existing. Like, they can run events, but like boxes are one of the best ways for them to be able to make money. So it's like, get out there and support your freaking LGS, right? Like, maybe next time you'll buy a box from them. And at the end of the day, is that a bad thing? No, you're supporting your local business. You're supporting the place that allows you to go and play Magic and allows you to go and play events with people.
I do think it is potentially a little bit dangerous to do it this way, which I completely understand. But what if it was just like a good rare or a good mythic from the set as the promo?
So you're guaranteed to get one. Like,
Yeah,
if
I don't
Dominaria
know.
was like Teferi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff flying around about this right now, and what different solutions there could be, and how to address this in the future with, because they did. There's been several buy a box promos that have just been
You're like, not good.
not good, and that
Yeah.
doesn't do anybody any favors. So anyway, but yes, the point of this deck is to
Yeah.
take a lot of turns and never take any damage.
Yeah.
And eventually win.
I love it. It's
end.
great. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
And you know what other deck had a pretty good showing, which you love, which is Aetherflux Reservoir combo.
Yeah.
Paulo Vito Domodorosa's playing this deck.
Yeah.
And if that's not endorsement, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Pretty solid. Reservoir combo. Great tool in Psy, Master Thopterist.
Oh, yeah. Sai really pushed us over the edge for sure.
Yeah. We also saw Psy in the sideboard of...
The sideboard.
the sideboard of KCI,
Yes, we
which
did.
was pretty great. I very much appreciated that.
I think, yeah, because giving this deck a second way to win, another way to draw cards, and just like blockers.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes it's just like, I'm going to play like 4 artifacts, and now I also have 4 Thopters to block your attack. It's pretty good. This deck I'm very excited about.
Which one do you want to play more?
This or Fog? Ooh, equal.
Equal amounts.
Equal amounts. I love them both.
Red-black, turns out, is still a deck people are playing.
So much red-black.
More
So
than just
much.
plain old red as well.
Yeah.
It's worth pointing out. Still a deck. And mono green Stompy was the second biggest deck of the field right after
Yeah.
red black aggro, which not
People
a real
playing
surprise.
their Galtas.
Galta, hello. You're
Yeah.
still good. You're a 12-12 with tramps.
Yep.
And Nicol Bolas was there to trample. Note to self, don't shorten the word trample. Okay, great. Nicol Bolas was there.
Yeah. In Bolus Red.
Bolas red.
Bolus Red. And also there was some Grixis mid-range
Yes,
that we saw Bolus in.
with Bolas. The Bolas
Yeah.
buddy. Flying around as a 4/4.
Yep.
I played this deck a little bit online.
How did you feel about it?
Terrible,
No.
of
Okay.
course.
All right.
Because
There we
it's
go.
just not my style. But
Yeah.
like, you know, there's a lot of big beefy dragons in this deck that you want to catch. It's even playing Demanding Dragon, which is a 5/5 for 5. And a lot of times it just felt really clunky.
That
So
makes sense.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's how I felt playing it, but whatever.
I believe that.
If you like dragons, get your paws on this, your dragony
Yeah.
claws, because you'll be able to cast a lot of them. And that's the 3 formats that were at the Pro Tour. What other
That's right.
stories did you find behind the scenes? Anything cute?
Let's see. There was like a cute story. You can go on the Magic Pro Tour Twitter and see I did a little video with a team that like formed. They're from 3 different countries, and they all formed because they were all qualified. Like 2 of them were, I want to say, like silver or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other one was a top finisher at PT Dominaria. And they just like didn't have a team. And Christian Calcano was like, hey, this is a place for like people to post if they need teams for the Pro Tour.
Yes.
And so the 3 of them got together, and they literally never met before they got into the hall on Thursday.
I love it.
Isn't that so cute?
Oh, that's
like on Thursday.
wow, on registration day.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right? Isn't that so great? I thought that one was super cute.
I think that is cute. And
Yeah.
the players overall, I think, loved the fact that this is a team Pro Tour.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. I love that element. Teams are fantastic.
All of our picks for top finishers.
We fell a little
Tanked
flat.
hard.
We fell a little flat. Let's put it that way.
Oh, we really did.
We should address sock bet. If you didn't watch our Pro Tour bingo episode with BDM, that's when we made our choices, not on the episode. And I chose the team. Who did I choose?
You chose Paolo's team.
I chose Paulo's team, which is Paulo Sigris and Luis Scott Vargas, which is not a bad team at all.
No, that's a very good team.
They finished X5.
That's a team of 2 current Hall of Famers and a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And this is how it went. They started 0-3, but they rallied back to only 5 losses on the tournament.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's an impressive rally.
it is. It really is.
When they started 0-3, we were...
Oh, it was just like, oh boy, what have I done?
Yeah.
So how did your team, who did you choose?
Also not great.
Oh yeah, you chose your team.
I chose Shota,
yeah.
Yuya, and I forget who their 3rd team member was.
But it wasn't good, the finish?
No, their finish was also not good.
Oh, and BDM chose the Peach Garden Oath.
Their finish was also
not great. So we just really missed the boat on this one.
Yeah, we really did.
Oh well.
Well, in retrospect, I can't believe I mean, maybe if we had known how those CFB teams were going to break down, because I can't imagine none of us choosing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Josh Ederleit, Ben Stark, Martin Yuza.
Yeah.
That team is just
The
on
problem
paper
is,
bonkers.
whenever we start to think of who should we choose? We don't have a document of all
That's
the
true. We
teams
just
in front
need
of
to
us.
have it written down.
And then somebody would have been like, wait a second, what about this team?
is nuts.
Well, we'll have a chance to do another sock bet for Worlds coming up. And it'll be a pure sock bet,
Yes.
which is because that was the first sock bet that ever happened.
The first
was
sock
last
bet,
Worlds.
which Marshall just took down.
Yeah, so we're definitely have to play against Marshall again because he needs to
Reigning World Championship sock bet king.
Marshall Sutcliffe.
Marshall Sutcliffe.
I want him, whatever choice, I want him to just slam it.
Yeah.
Windmill slam his choice every time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Huey, so it's that was kind of a little personal for him, but I want him to still, every single time he makes a sock bet, to have that kind of certainty that player is going to win.
All right.
Anyway, that was the Pro Tour. Yep. Hey, pause. Boop.
Play with Ultra Pro. Oh, God.
That was great.
That was
great.
Look, if that doesn't convince you to use Ultra Pro products, I don't know what will. Except for the fact that they have amazing sleeves, equipped sleeves that shuffle so nice. They have gorgeous playmat arts. They have amazing dice that roll like a dream.
And they're from space.
That's right. Just get out there and do it.
And bags. I went off
changed Maria's
changed my
life.
Somebody tweeted at me, they're like, please tell me about the bag that changed your life. And I sent them a link to it because it's so good.
Yes.
It's so good. And you can only find it from Ultra Pro, seriously. So if any of these things are things that you want to happen in your existence, check out Ultra Pro.
Ultra Pro.
It's time for Flavortex Theater Pick, Lick, or Flick.
That's right. Here we go.
M19 edition. We're going to choose cards to pick, lick, or flick. Just your general. By the way, somebody tweeted a picture at us of a Flick It or lick it or ticket, like which is a click it or ticket sign, but they changed it to lick it or ticket. I thought that was great.
That's pretty good.
Thank you for that, by the way. And we'll let you know what
All
we've
right.
been picking in
Here
these
we
packs. All right.
We've got Bone to Ash.
Ooh, the counter spell. Draw a card.
Abnormal Endurance.
Better than we thought it would
Wow.
be.
Root Snare.
Wow.
What a start.
This is crazy.
What a start
Okay,
this is.
so I'm gonna definitely pick abnormal. Oh my gosh, is this really who I am? Abnormal? No, I should probably pick. Nah, gosh, what kind of player am I? Abnormal endurance. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna lick Bone to Ash. Gross, and I'm
Wow.
gonna flick Root Snare because I'm never playing that. It's a fog.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, but look at the art on this. Look what you chose to lick.
Yeah, that's really gross. I'm gonna lick Bone Ash.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Abnormal Endurance also. But I'm going to lick Root Snare because I'm going to lick a tree, Maria, not a disintegrating skeleton.
The taste of old bones.
Like,
Bone to Ash. I'm so surprised you didn't pick Bone to Ash. This says counter target spell and draw a card.
I know.
Creature
Counter target
spell.
creature spell, though. And it's
Yeah.
4 mana. They can always see it coming.
That's
All right, we've got Salvager of Secrets.
Ooh.
Nice. Infectious Horror.
I've never seen this card played.
Angel of the Dawn.
Wow. This is a tough one.
This really is. This comes down to like what deck are you playing?
That's very true because Angel and Salvager are great.
Yeah, they're both very good in their respective decks.
I'm going to pick Angel of the Dawn, obviously. Lick Salvager of Secrets, which is a fish, so that's weird. And I'm
Yeah.
going to flick Infectious Horse because it's disgusting and also a bad card.
Okay, I'll swap it on you. I'll pick Salvager of Secrets. I'll
Yeah.
go with the other deck. I'll lick Angel of Dawn. I'm sure they'll be fine with it. And yeah, Infectious Horror, get out.
Get out. Yeah, Salvager can go in some really awesome decks, and Angel of Dawn can just be a blowout.
We've got Viashino Pyromancer.
Okay, the little 2-drop.
Dark Dweller Oracle are rare.
Speaking of 2-drops.
And Oakenform.
Wow.
Oh, cute little wolf friend.
So Dark Dweller Oracle, Paulo loves this card, by the
Yeah.
way, in M19. Sacrifice a creature for 1, exile the top card of your library. You can play that card this turn, so 2/2 for 2.
I love it.
I think it's pretty cool and is very, very good in sacrifice deck, red-black, which,
Yeah.
you know, active treason and then destroy your creature.
I will pick Dark Dweller Oracle.
Yeah.
I'm going to lick the little Oak Wolf.
I'm also licking Oakenform.
Flick Viashino Pyromancer. The best flick that we've had so far, though. Like,
Oh,
this
for
is
sure.
this is
That's
a reasonable
fine
card.
It's a fine
Yeah.
card. Oakenform, I can't believe I didn't pick it, but you know what? We had the rare.
Gargoyle Sentinel.
Okay.
Walking Corpse.
Yep.
Daybreak Chaplain.
Wow. All right. I'm going to pick the Sentinel. I'll lick the Chaplain, and I'm flicking that corpse.
Same.
Same.
Same. All right, last we've got Maria.
Oh!
Satyr Enchanter.
Get in.
Look at your friend. Cinder Barons. Goblin Motivator.
Oh, yeah. Satyr Enchanter. Get in.
That's just your kind of card.
Right here. That's him.
Satyr Enchanter says
Buddy.
whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Look at you.
I love
Look
it.
at you go.
I love it. Goblin
All right.
Motivator, though, definitely great in the right deck.
Yeah. So I'll reverse it since you can have Satyr Enchanter because that's your style.
Okay.
I'll pick Goblin Motivator, lick the Enchanter, flick Cinder Barons.
Agree.
All right. And that's what we've got for you this week on Pick, Lick, or Flick.
Well, everybody, that's this episode of Magic the Amateuring. Thanks so much for hanging out. Big thanks to all of our patrons on patreon.com/MTAcast, Card Kingdom, of course, for being a sponsor, and Ultra Pro for being a sponsor as well.
That's right. If you enjoyed this episode, consider becoming a patron.
I agree.
If you hated this episode,
Consider becoming a patron.
becoming a patron.
And then give the episode link to all of your enemies.
That's right.
You know, so it works both ways.
Aren't you tricky?
Oh, yes! Anyway, yeah. Great times were had by all. By the way, you get a link to our Discord. You get into our Discord,
That's
which
right.
is a great place to
It
be.
really is.
Just saying.
What a delight.
Yeah, that's one of the perks we offer. By the way, if you haven't signed up for a newsletter yet, please go do that. Head to goodluckhighfive.com. There's a link there. It'll get you signed up. And
Yes, you get to see all sorts of fun photos. You get to hear stories from Maria's time in the booth. We have special playlists.
We have
and
a
recipes.
guest article this past,
Yeah, that's right.
which was really cool.
Oh, you got to be part of a competition. Your own part of your own version of #SockBet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. And by the way, be just a little careful. It might end up in your spam folder. Mine did. So double check and put it on the safe senders list if you didn't get the last one and you signed up. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have to say anything else.
No.
You've got a muffin to eat.
Aren't you tricky?